Welcome back, I'm Off by One, and this is Create Astral. So for today's episode, I figured we'd finally move out our little hovel here and get started on a proper base. That means I have actually removed and replaced our andesite and basalt generator, with the exception of some components, and made a start on foundations for something much bigger. So you can see this is where the train line was running before. I have added in a little sort of bridge walkway with some sort of cobblestone dithering to make it look a bit nicer. And I'm planning on running the railway line from here into here, and then maybe we'll do a tunnel out to somewhere else in the future. But the key thing for today is finishing off our obsidian generation, or rather our magma generation. And to do that, we need to expand on our basalt gen. And you can see the andesite generator is filling up nicely. I've actually replaced one of the four of these with a triple compressed andesite, and I could totally do the same again. But it is also serving as a cobblestone generator at the moment as well. But yeah, basalt gen is stopped at the moment because it was actually producing too much. Although I don't have that much in this chest, I've got two of these totally full of basalt. But it works perfectly fine. Exactly the same as what we had over there, except I have a gearbox here, a vertical gearbox that is, running into this belt, running into the side of this mechanical press. So the same sort of setup we had there, but directly in line. So this is producing 4 every so often, and pretty much with each, whenever the next set of these is done drilling, this has already compressed the previous 4 into more polished basalt and sent it down into this chest. Now, for our obsidian, or rather for the magma generation, I think the best way to go about it is to basically just pipe this straight into, well, not pipe, but use our crude storage units as pipes and pipe them straight into hoppers, which can in turn go into our casting basins. I'm going to have 2 of them, and you'll see why in a moment. And the reason that I'm going to use hoppers is because I've found in testing that funnels and other create elements sometimes break when used with the casting basins. I think the problem isn't on the create elements, I think the problem is on the casting basins, but for whatever reason, hoppers function fine with them, and so having the hoppers as sort of like a buffer, it enables us to work a lot better. But for now, let's place our crude storage units, and they go like that. We'll have our hoppers here facing inwards, which means that our seared melter will be here, and our casting basins will be here. So let's go up a couple of blocks, and let's just use basalt for now. That, and we'll have our seared here. Of course, I can't jump up without that. It's seared here, and on top of that, seared melter. And then on either side of this, we'll have a casting basin. And running into each of these, we'll have our hoppers. So these should be filling up. They're not filling up. I've done that wrong. Let's have a quick look. Go from the side. Ah, okay. Let's do it like this instead. Okay, I don't know what I did. Let's do it like that. Blue. Orange. Are they still locked? Yep, it's locked basalt, that's fine. So that's filled up nicely. And let's do the same on this one. So we want to say the input is this side, and the output is this side. And yep, that's locked as well. Perfect. So this is filled up, and this is filled up, and you can see that it's actually pushed a polished basalt into the casting basin already, which is perfect. We will actually drop some coal blocks in here. We will need to automate this in the future, but for now, just put the coal in. And seared faucets as well, of course. So we'll have a seared faucet on this side, and one on this side as well. Let's just mine this to look. Yep, that looks right. And we're going to place magma in here. Do I have any automate? Nope. That's fine. Here's some I prepared earlier. Now, those three are going to get used up very quickly, so we will need a way to replace the magma in here, and that's why we actually have two of these basins. So one of these will be our output, and the other one will be used to sort of self-fill this. And just as a reminder, the recipe that we're using to get the basalt, or to get the magma blocks, is magma poured over basalt. So you need basically half a block of magma and 1 block of basalt to get a full magma block, which is why this can be sort of self-sustaining. But to do that, we need to create a chain coming out of our other basin. So let's say in from behind, all input, and out on the side, all output. And of course, we will need to flick our lever to tell these to go on. So that should have poured out. It has. Yep, there we go. And I'm just going to lock this one, just in case it starts trying to pull basalt out once it's moved the blocks up. And we'll say output of that one. Yep, it's to the right. The input is behind. Yep, that's all okay. Then this one again, and I'm just going to grab, actually I've got some on me, grab some more basalt, some more magma rather, and just set this up the same. So I'm going to lock it to make sure that it only does magma. I keep saying basalt, so it only does magma. Not that it should matter with this other one here, just in case. So input on that side and output, oops, input on this side, all input, output, top, all output, and finally input at the bottom, all input, and output at the back, and auto output. So this will be pulling our sort of finished products out into this one, then into this one, then into this one, then back in here. So each time we see this fill up, you should see the capacity in here increase, or rather the usage in here increase, and then immediately it pulls in new blocks. So let's just watch it for a bit. Yep, you can see it's pulling in the new ones as it goes, and the number of these should remain fairly stable. It might bob down, it might bob up, but we should always have around 5 or 6 in this at any time. As you can see, it went up to 7, back to 6. And this one isn't pulling anything out at the moment, so we're not getting the sort of full benefit of this. But if I set up let's do a funnel on this actually, and there we have it. Now, the magma isn't the final form of this. We do need to turn this magma into what are we turning it into? We're turning it into obsidian, and for that we could either just drop the raw items out and pick them up somehow, but actually let's grab another one of these. Oops, where's that gone? Don't want that there. Place another one on this side. No. This Why is it doing that? There we go. And we'll say, okay, we only want magma blocks from this, and we'll lock that so it only does magma. And we want to pick up items from behind, which is fine. And let's say we want to place our items on a depot below it. And we can put any glass. Let's see if we've got any glass in one of these. We've got lots of these barrels kicking about with various bits and bobs from some of the work that I'm planning. So we go glass here. And we'll pop a fan. Do we have a fan? No, we don't have a fan. Probably one. Yep. Fan. And our fan will go here. Now I'll be replacing this dirt block with water block, and I'll set this up to deposit the items on top of here. So for now, I'll just place a block there. Pick that up. And I don't have water to hand, but there should be water nearby. There it is, up there. Let's grab our water. That's a lot of quests. I think that must be from the chapter 2.5 automation. And I'll show that actually. So from chapter 2, there's this one here, which is just a yes, I agree tick, that unlocks this additional chapter, chapter 2.5, which is the automation matrix. And this shows you ways that you can easily produce lots of the components that you'll need throughout Create. So using a composter with some of your plant matter, create bone meal, which we all know. That can be used to create white dye, which can be mixed with green dye to produce lime dye, which when mixed with dough, which we get from wheat, we can automate slime. Similarly, with a water and lava for a standard cobblestone generator, we get gravel, which we already saw in previous episodes. And these can be washed for iron nuggets, although that isn't true anymore, so there must be some updates needed to this. Because you now need to use a sift for iron nuggets. If I go iron nugget somewhere there, yeah, you can only get it from washing iron ore and sifting gravel. But still, similar sort of idea. Still automatable, which is the important part. And then out of this depot, we can then grab our finished product, which will be our obsidian. We won't have any to start with, so we won't be able to set that one up quite yet. We will also need to power this, which, so that like that, and we can easily rotate this if it's spinning the wrong direction. We need it to blow the water through, not pull back. And we need this to be a vertical gearbox, so go like that. And we'll run our shafts down. Like so. And we'll of course need yet another water bucket, so let's just go grab one again. So we'll try this way first. Is that blowing? Can't actually tell from here. Maybe. I think it might not be. Maybe the other way. Oh man, I hate. Okay, come on. Is that blowing? Still can't tell. Let's get rid of that. Yes, it is blowing. Okay. Perfect. So that blowing those, and then if we set this to output on the bottom, those should start getting washed into Obsidian. And when those are done, I'll pick it up and we can set this one. Any moment now. I might speed this up through the magic of editing if it takes any longer. There we go, the magic of editing. So I will now set this one, and just the same, we'll say we'll lock it to Obsidian, and we'll set the input to the top. Auto input, and now we've fully automated Obsidian. I just need to go turn the basalt generator back on by placing the cog in place, and it'll be working sort of end to end. So I need to be in here. Okay, it's going to be way easier if I just pull out one of these. So let's do that. There we go. So all those four drop down. Okay, let's stop picking those up. We'll be interfering with the cycle. And let's see how this is getting on. Oh, we're up to 9 now. So yeah, more than enough. It was likely increasing because we didn't have this one running. So it was just continually feeding back on itself. But now that this one's running as well, this should be pretty stable. So the next part in this will be running these through our press. So we need to set up some belts running along here, and some sort of looping circuit for them to go through. Or we could set something to sort of send them back if they're not finished. Let's see. Okay, so this running into a millstone, and then, oh wait, no, this running into a millstone and crude storage unit below. Okay, so we want to say instead that this is our obsidian, and that runs like this, and outputs beneath. Perfect. And power this. Probably need some way to cog. Hello, Firefly dude. Let's just do that for now. And I'm just going to set this up with belts, even though it's kind of messy. Get the job done. Yep, and plenty of stress units. Okay, I'm not going to... Oh. Maybe. Try pushing my luck. So let's try expanding that. Oh. Okay, that would go the wrong way anyway. Okay, that's fine. And then we want to say that this one now does not accept from the top, instead accepts from the side. And we don't want it to take obsidian actually, so let's turn that off for now. There we go, powdered obsidian, perfect. And it still needs to output in the same location, that's all okay. golden. Let's get rid of some of the obsidian we have on us. Okay, so powdered obsidian, didn't actually need to tear out that whole thing. Powdered obsidian running into our mechanical press. So same setup with the gearbox. So gearbox here like so, with one cog on top. And another one on this side, so pulling that way. And then above this, we then have our mechanical presses. So, thinking it, continue this way. So, and then use another vertical gearbox here. We can then just go case chain drive. Nope, overstressed. Okay, I'm gonna pause here and I will come back once I've figured it out, and then I'll explain how I figured it out. If I do figure it out. Okay, so that's it working. Took quite a bit longer than I expected, but kind of a tough one to figure out, certainly pre-RES, when your filtering options are limited. Because unfortunately the crude storage units, for better or worse, recognize item state. So if you have one of these that's in, well, in this case, it's been pressed 6 of 10 times, then a crude storage unit will only pick up items that have been processed 6 of 10 times. So I wasn't able to just filter indefinitely for those. However, I have worked out a system, and I'll talk you through it just now. So to start off with, we have obviously our powdered obsidian that's being pulled out, or would be being pulled out, by this andesite funnel, so one at a time. But we have this redstone line that's preventing any more from coming out, and that's because the belt is full, as it were. For our belt system, we have a sort of standard loop with the mechanical presses set up in the way I was talking about earlier, with space for a spout for lava later if you want to add it. So when they come up this belt, they merge with this other belt here. They come along, get processed twice, or pressed twice, and then when they reach the end of this line here, they get teleported from this side to this side by passing through this crude storage unit in the middle. Now, this process is just long enough to send out a brief redstone pulse, and you can see that every so often there's a brief pulse coming through here. That pulse gets transported up this line, and I've done it out of glass so it's nice and clear to see. And every so often it toggles this, keeping this engaged. However, as you can see with this sturdy sheet, the sturdy sheet comes by, it gets pulled into this lane, which briefly flicks the toggle off, allowing more items to come on and join the process. So you'll see it happen again with this one, picked up, it's off, next item comes through, back on again. And that basically allows the funnel to pull new items onto the line, so we can continue processing. But it doesn't allow the line to get so gunked up that it stops. If we ran out of space here, it would be exactly as you see it right now, with nothing moving, because these ones would be waiting to go round, these ones would be trying to get across, but there'd be no space for them to do so. However, with this sort of on-off system, it allows us to only pull on the items that we have capacity for. So if I was to sort of pluck one of these other ones off and throw a sturdy sheet down, you should see this toggle off for a moment, which should be allowing new items on. And you can see there's some that have joined the queue, and it's already set off again, preventing any further ones. But if we come over to this chest, you'll see we've got a steady supply of sturdy sheets coming in. and only some have come through as gravel. So remember, without the lava spout, there's a 40% chance of gravel and a 60% chance of sturdy sheets. But as I mentioned, we can put a lava spout in here in the future to easily swap this out. But as far as sturdy sheet automation goes, I think this is pretty good. Alright, that's everything from me for this episode. I won't pester you to subscribe here, but do consider checking out my other videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one.